So today we're talking about the most important piece when it comes to modern data strategies. So usually we talk about flashy tools like Power BI or other front-end applications, but these are just for the surface. So to build an enterprise-grade solution, you need a strong foundation, and that foundation is Microsoft Dataverse. So now we're going to move away from talking about things like on-prem, Excel, or SQL, and look at what happens when you centralize your nervous system for all your data needs. So let's start with the analogy to explain where Dataverse actually fits in. So think of Microsoft Power Platform as the human body. So the Power BI is going to be the eyes, Power Automate is going to be moving the data, and it does the work for you as well. And the Power Apps is a mount, so it allows the user to input the information. But without a spine, a central nervous system to connect all the parts, you really don't have a functioning body. All you really have is just a collection of loose organs. So the problem with fragmentation, such as SharePoint or Excel, is that everything is disconnected, and you might only have one version of the truth. So Dataverse is the solution. Think of it as the spine, as I just mentioned. So it connects all the signals, all the different applications that you have out there, right? So when a user inputs the data, such as the Power App, the spine instantly validates it, secures it, and also transmits that signal to the desired location. So one of the best advantages when it comes to Dataverse is the two different options you have here. So first would be Canvas apps. So this is a pixel perfect design. So you can use it for mobile interfaces. You can use this if you want to have extreme control of how you want to display your dashboards and your information. And then Dataverse kind of takes a backseat and just secures all your data for you. The next option is going to be the model-driven app. And this is where the enterprise value really lies. Since Dataverse understands your data and structure, it knows that a consumer has many orders and can automatically generate your dashboards and your views along with forms. But there are pros and cons to this as well. The pro is that you can deploy a functional internal tool within minutes, and you don't need a super massive team to actually do it for you. The con is that you have less control with the model-driven apps because it's not tailored and structured exactly to what the demand and the intent is behind what you're expected to build. So the optimization engine is really the most critical piece to this. So we no longer burden Power BI with heavy data lifts and transformations. So in a fragmented approach, you dump raw, messy data into Power BI and write complex DAX to clean it up. This makes reports slow and locks that logic into one single report file, which is never good. The upstream approach is where we actually clean the data before it lands in the database. And we calculate things directly in the table as well. So for example, we can define profit within Dataverse. That definition is now universal. So whether you're looking at a Power App, a Power BI report, or automation flow, that number is going to be identical. So we eliminate the risk of report discrepancies where two departments show different numbers for the same metric. And you could also use Power Query within Dataverse as well. So think of all the transformations you do in Power BI, and now you can do it in Dataverse, and it simply allows you to do so much more with the data, so much faster, it's so much more optimized as well. And you're not burdening Power BI to do that alone by itself because it's not truly designed to do that. So what's under the hood? So it's not just a SQL database, it's three things in one. So first is storage. It's not like SharePoint, which starts to slow down after 5,000 rows. This can handle millions of records, images without performance degradation. You also have role-based security as well. So this is a DoD grade security where you can actually apply it. And it's also applied when you're trying to export data as well. So it reads every permission that you have. We can also set rules so that certain things can't be a negative value because then it'll be rejected. So upgrading is also a question of concern. And it's something that's always brought up quite often, right? Because cost. Like all things, there's always a cost to everything, right? But I think personally that the pros outweigh the cons to this simply because you're buying the security and the efficiency when it comes to Dataverse. But SharePoint is not a relational database like Dataverse is, and it can't handle millions of records like Dataverse can as well. So let's look at an example in practice for onboarding, for example. So in the old world, a sales rep emails an Excel sheet to the manager, who approves it and then sends it to IP to enter into the system, which is slow and prone to error, right? Whereas in Dataverse, you now have the email input directly into the Power App, and then it automatically gets pushed into Dataverse. Dataverse sees that as a high-value client, for example, and then automatically triggers a Power Automate flow to the CEO or whomever, and automatically updates their dashboard via direct query because it's constantly receiving that information. So bottom line, there's no file movement, there's no version control issues here at all. Just a single stream of data flowing through the spine. So at the end of the day, it gives a single source of truth. It connects all your different apps together, provides the security, and it bridges the gap between Excel and the rigidity of SQL. With that said, this is just a quick rundown of what Dataverse truly is. We'll actually use it later down the road as well, so you can see it live in action. With that said, as always, thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.